Ladies and gentlemen, and deers and does, welcome to Deerman! Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Hilbert. Thank you so much for listening to Deerman. It's a new month, it's November. I've got the sniffles. Oh my god. You can go to patreon.com/ahilbert and help support this project. DeermanBegins.com is our central hub of information for all things Deerman. Thanks to the Grassing Oak for providing this music. And without further ado, let's just get right into it, guys. We're on Deerman Chapter 6. Deer Crime. Deer crime up 100% since last year. Sensationalist garbage, Sheriff Maddox said to himself as he summed through the San Antonio Express News. What the hell even is deer crime? The sheriff wondered as he skimmed through the article. Ironic that this very kind of sensationalism that sent him into office was about to bring him down. Some blondie news reporter was on his ass every day. He had to switch to a different Jim's diner after she figured out his schedule, presumably by sitting in the parking lot all damn day. If she ever figured out his new Jim's, he'd sure as hell have to downgrade to a Denny's. At least they have the Grand Slam, Father Daddy said as he took a seat at the booth where Maddox sat alone. Father Daddy, what in the hell are you doing here? Man does not survive on bread alone, friend. Man needs a chicken fried steak sometimes, too. Doc said I couldn't be eating like that anymore. Maddox pointed his fork down to the egg white scramble on his plate. Every now and then I treat myself to some bacon. Ain't a treat kind of day. If you prefer quiet company, I can pray silently while you read. I was just about to go. The sheriff started to clean up his mess, the newspaper, his notes, the printed photographs of people mysteriously linked to the weird deer cult he happened upon. Father Daddy's was one of those photos. Son, Father Daddy looked up from his cup of joe. I must ask why you carry in your possession a photo of me. Lawmen get lonely sometimes. A picture of you keeps me from jerking off. Father Daddy shifted his weight from side to side, uncomfortable. Maddox didn't like his morning rituals impinged upon by nobody, and especially not from a man of God who takes to fucking roadkill when he thinks nobody's looking. I'm only messing with you, the sheriff said. I keep photographs of everyone related to a case. You offered your assistance to me, I keep a photograph. Maddox dug through his files. He pulled out a picture of Earl. He's no help, just a son of a bitch who's related to my case, so I keep a picture of him. I've noticed you've no picture of the deceased husband. I don't see no relation to the case, the sheriff said. No body was found. Just because a deer comes walking up on two legs to a woman's house doesn't mean a damn thing to me. Husband is dead or ran off to be with a California hussy out in Austin. Deer crime don't figure into this. Father Daddy whistled for a waitress. You should sit down again, Sheriff. I'm more in tune with the spiritual winds of this case than you can ever hope to be. The sheriff gritted his teeth. Well, I don't believe in that hocus-pocus bullshit you peddle, but I respect you, Father Daddy. You ought to find the deceased husband's body, Father Daddy said. He put two fingers up at his table. Waitress, waiter, anyone. Strange things happen when a body is left to rot. The sheriff sat back down. Nobody knows if the husband is even dead. Father Daddy looked down his nose at Maddox. I can sense it, he said as an older waitress came by looking frazzled. How can I serve you? Her hair was matted and frizzy, the cost of living in a humid climate when, even in autumn, temperatures are damn near hellish. Her skin was leathery and sun-baked. She didn't look Father Daddy in the eyes. Chicken fried steak, darling, he said and handed her the menu. More coffee, sir? She asked Maddox. Her voice sounded like a million cigarettes were being shoved down her throat. I'm fine, Maddox answered with a smile. I was just about to go. He threw down $40 on the table. This should cover the both of us. Keep the change. The sheriff got up and put his hat back on. You're leaving nearly 100% tip, Father Daddy said in disbelief. Nearer to 120. Betsy does a good job, don't you think? Godless woman, Father Daddy said. She stinks of cigarettes, the cologne of Lucifer. The sheriff took a big sniff of the air around Father Daddy. Smells better than dead doe pussy. Sheriff tipped his hat at Father Daddy and headed for the exit. Hey! Father Daddy called out behind him. "What do you mean by that?" But Maddox didn't listen. He reached in his front pocket and pulled out a fresh cigarette from his Winston softpack, just like Daddy used to smoke. You question a man on a lot of things, like why he chooses Reebok over Nike or Honda over Toyota, and they'll have a pretty reasonable answer. But if you ask a man about his brand of cigarettes, you'll find a whole list of reasons that make no sense. It's rarely about the flavor, because all cigarettes taste like shit when it comes down to it. It's rarely about the feel. Smoking is like air. Most people don't know why they like breathing, but they're damn sure of it once they stop. The brand you choose to smoke is mostly tied to memory, and the sheriff got his good senses from his daddy. Winston's were cheap. They were classic. They didn't have a fancy marketing campaign to make you feel like you were somebody else. The Marlboro Man tried to make you feel like a cowboy. Camels wanted you to feel like a safari explorer. Virginia Slims wanted to make you feel regal, wealthy, and skinny. But a Winston just wanted you to be you. And that's why Daddy smokes them. And that's why the sheriff smokes them. Lucifer's cologne, the sheriff said under his breath with his first exhalation. What a load of shit. Feeling happy with himself for sticking to Father Daddy, Sheriff Maddox got into his car, but not before Blondie stuck a tape recorder in his face. "Miss, please remove your arm from the inside of my car door so I can shut it and catch this crazed deer running all over town." "Sheriff, why are you sitting here with the beloved man of the cloth? Is he a suspect? Is he involved in any way?" Maddox started his engine. "Lindsay, that's your name, isn't it? Listen here. Every waking minute of my life is dedicated to taking down this mutant deer of uncanny strength and taking down those who perpetuate the conditions that have created this crazy buck. Are you saying we only have one crazy buck terrorizing us? Today, Lindsay, we have one buck. Tomorrow, we may have 2. Next weekend, we may have 15. And by this time next year, we might be walking around on 4 legs all naked like." Lindsay paused for a second and scratched her head with a pencil. "Now, Sheriff, if I hadn't received a degree in stupid jokes, I'd be charmed by that. But I'm not. You got a responsibility to the folks that elected you to figure out this problem." Maybe the sheriff shouldn't have jumped in the air and clicked his heels at the first sight of a headline-grabbing investigation. He didn't expect it to be a complex entanglement of human and deer animosity. He just expected to go out and kill a deer with muscles and mount its head at City Hall, use it as leverage to become a mayor or a state representative or something like that. Now he's got clergy fucking deer, some weird deer art cult, and a mutant deer running around hooping people's eyes all the way out of their assholes. It was a growing headache. He'd be lucky if he'd get reelected sheriff. He took his key out of the ignition, took off his seatbelt, and got out of the car. He thumbed through the softpack in his front pocket for his last cigarette, standing on its butt with the tobacco face up. Learned that from Daddy, too. Always take one and turn it upside down. Smoke that one last. It's good luck. He grabbed it and lit it. "You smoke?" he asked Lindsay. "Used to. Every now and again. Usually with some beer. I thought we set up an interview for tomorrow. I've got some leads I'm pursuing here, and I don't want to say too much." Lindsay took out a business card. "Leave a message at my office. I'll meet you wherever you can." "Some place where there's beer and you can smoke indoors." The sheriff smiled, tipped his hat, and got back into his car. "Oh, by the way, you can ask old Father Daddy in there about the deer carcasses he collects off the street." Maddox started his engine and backed out of the parking lot. He watched as Lindsay took a seat across from Father Daddy in the booth. "Let the fucker sweat," Maddox said to himself as he reached into his glove box for another pack of smokes. Hey everyone, I hope you had a happy Halloween. We had a good time doing the Deerman Spooktacular. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, thank you to Grassino for providing this music. Now, if you're not a patron, you can go to patreon.com/ahilbert and become a patron. It just takes a buck a month. I really appreciate it. You'll get early access to the text if you do a buck, $2 to text in the audio, text in the image, and $3 text, audio, and image. You can also click on our Amazon link. Just go ahead and buy something off Amazon. What you normally buy anyways. It doesn't add anything to your cost. It gives me a little bit of a kickback. Go to DeermanBegins.com for all information related to Deerman. We really appreciate it. This story's chugging along and it's going to keep going until it's done, y'all. I'll start sprinkling in short stories here and there that's not related to Deerman or tangentially related to Deerman. We might even have a Christmas episode, because let me tell you one thing about Christmas. I hate that holiday. I don't know why I hate it so much. I just dislike it. But the best Christmas episode of anything ever is The Simpsons. Simpsons roasting on an open fire. And I would be remiss if I did not make a Deerman Christmas episode as I did for Halloween. Because the Halloween episodes of The Simpsons, the Treehouse of Horror episodes, are consistently the best of every season. Alright everyone, thank you so much for listening to me rant for a second about Christmas and Halloween and all that jazz. My Dodgers didn't do it in the World Series, but the Astros played a hell of a series against us. Next year. Alright everyone, thank you so much. Have a good time. DeermanBegins.com.